You're a product manager feeling stuck. Making the jump from individual contributor to people leader in product is especially difficult. But it's probably your non-product skills that are what's holding you back from getting that promotion. You've no doubt heard executive presence referred to as a critical part of getting yourself into a senior leadership position. The challenge, though, is most of the times when that's getting talked about, because it's such an abstract concept, most of the time goes into explaining what the heck it even is, and very little time gets spent telling you how to actually apply it and how to be better at having executive presence. In this video, instead, we're going to focus on the 7 B's of executive presence, and that's exactly how you apply it in your day-to-day as a senior product manager looking to earn that product leader promotion. What do I know? I'm Bryce York, and I am a product leader based here in New York, and I have over a decade of experience in product management in early and growth stage startups, including founding and selling 3 of those myself. I know exactly what it's like to feel stuck as an individual contributor, so let's jump into it. What is executive presence? That's a particularly hard thing to define. In fact, a study from the Human Capital Institute, 51% say it's difficult to define what executive presence really means. But 81% say that it's easy to spot. When it comes down to it, executive presence is looking and feeling like a leader. It's all about how well you make people want to follow you and listen to what you have to say. As a product manager, you're obviously used to managing through influence. So you're actually kind of well on the way here because you haven't had authority to lean on. It's all about taking that to the next level from a leadership perspective versus more of a getting stuff done perspective. More specifically, Brooke Vukovic, an executive coach and professor at the Kellogg School of Business, describes executive presence as a formula. Credibility plus ease divided by ego. So you want to be credible and seem credible. You want to make it look easy and make people feel at ease. And then you want to do all of that without ego. Let's cover how to develop executive presence through the 7 B's of executive presence. Number 1, you want to be the protector of your people. This is all about having empathy and listening when you don't have direct reports, which is often going to be the case when you're not being promoted into a leadership position yet. You want to do this with your engineering team and anybody else that you have the opportunity to represent. It's all about showing that you're going to bat for your team, representing people's thoughts and opinions, pointing out when someone's getting spoken over, pointing out when someone is being misunderstood. Number 2, you want to be a dependable voice. You want to be clear, you want to be concise. If you're not saying anything, you can't have a dependable voice. You want to provide clarity. You can actually unlock a lot of value just by going, okay, so what I'm hearing is this. Not only does this help you check that you understood, which is super valuable for yourself, but it also serves as a summary to the rest of the people in the room. Be the one to provide context. Chances are, as a product person, you've got a good deal more background and context than other people that are involved. Provide that background and context. Help people understand the why. Help people understand how you got here. It's very easy to get caught up in the motions and just keep steaming forward. The real opportunity is in helping bring people along. They're going to be able to add more value if they actually understand how we got here and what's going on. Number 3 is be the guiding hand. Even when you're not in the driver's seat, you want to be nudging things back in the right direction. If things are starting to get off track, whether that's talking about things that are irrelevant in a meeting, going off agenda and spiraling into useless stuff, whether it's a stand-up where you start digging into some really small thing that's only relevant to one person on the team, be the one that embraces that awkward feeling and goes, all right, hang on, let's get back on track here. This is the agenda, or let's circle back to that conversation after we've gone through everybody in the stand-up. Number 4, be composed in the face of chaos, challenge, stress. Your energy is going to be contagious to the people around you, even when you're not actually formally a leader yet. As a product manager, you are a leader, and you generally have more context than everyone else around you. And so by being that person that is calm, cool, collected, it's going to really be contagious to your team and going to allow everybody to think clearly, help people to process more rationally, and help calm them down. Also, if you're not calm, if you get stressed out and worked up because of all this thing going on, you're getting pulled in 700 different directions, that's going to be contagious to your team. If they were feeling cool, calm, and collected, and you're not, you could easily bring their energy down, be a positive influence on that energy and not a negative influence. Plus, feels a whole lot better anyway. Look for the silver lining. Think about the situation and be like, okay, this thing is bad. This thing is frustrating. This thing is annoying. What might be the upside of that? How might this actually turn out to be a good thing in the end? And point that out. Acknowledge, I know this is annoying that we're getting pulled in different directions, but we've got a lot of different options here. A lot of good options. Even though it feels annoying that we're getting pulled in different directions, it's really nice that it's actually so hard to decide which way to go. Many people are stuck with no idea what to do, no idea what to build. Number 5, be energetic. Enthusiasm is contagious. If you can bring that energy into the room, you're going to uplift everybody else, create a more positive environment, and that's going to be associated with you. If you can come in with a little bit more energy than maybe you really have, you're going to leave the room feeling better, and chances are you're going to feel better yourself. So double win. Number 6, be present. It's very easy as a product manager to be multitasking, doing 700 different things at once, being on Slack, checking your emails, thinking about this thing you've got to do later, and then also trying to be in the meeting. And sometimes you do that in order to be productive, but you want to use your moments. Really be there in the room. Focus on what's going on. Listen, actively listen to what people are saying and let people feel heard. Anytime you're chatting to somebody, ask them how they're doing and genuinely care. By actually being human, connecting, demonstrating empathy internally, not just with your customers. Number 7, this is a big one and is really, to be honest, a multi-year journey. Being emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is essentially made up of 4 things. Number 1 is self-awareness. Number 2 is self-regulation. And then the flip side of the coin is social awareness and relationship management. These 2 are the things that you're thinking about other people. These 2 are the things where you're thinking about yourself. The most important of these, and really the foundation, is self-awareness. You need to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. Know when you perform your best. Know when you're being negative. Know the things that frustrate you. Nobody's going to be perfect. I just went through a bunch of things. Be energetic. Be the cool, calm, and collected person. Chances are, especially in a startup, an early stage or growth stage startup, which is my experience, you can't do that every single time. But if you're self-aware, where you recognize where you mess up, where you call it out and be like, look, I know in that meeting yesterday, I was a bit of a downer. I got frustrated. Or when you're in a feedback session with the CEO and I know I got a little defensive there, but it's just because I really care about what we're doing here and I want to make sure we make the right decision. That self-awareness will go a long way. And once you've built that self-awareness, you can then double down on that with self-regulation, where you anticipate what's going to happen and you prevent it from happening. You're aware that this thing triggers you, and then you regulate on that. You go, look, I know I'm going to get triggered on this if I let it, so I anticipate it, I see it coming, and I control it. This is some expert stuff. This is something that I'm still very much working on, but it really goes a long way just to be thinking about and making it part of your thought process. Social awareness is really thinking about and putting yourself in your colleagues' shoes, thinking about how they're feeling, why they might be coming from this direction. Why is it that they've got this very different opinion? And really thinking about that and coming to it with curiosity. Relationship management is I anticipate this and that I can come from their perspective and really hear them out and help them feel heard and understood and help them work through that so that we can get to the same page. Really ties in well with a really strong philosophy of mine, which is this whole idea of stakeholder management. It's a little bit silly. You're not there to manage stakeholders. You can't make them do anything because you have no authority, and it's not really effective to try and make people do things they don't want. Instead, you want to be having stakeholder influence. You want to be able to get people onto the same page, not necessarily onto your page. How you might meet in the middle and drive together in the same direction. Now, I couldn't get everything to start with the same letter, so instead it's B. It's all about how you act, who you become. And one of the things to keep in mind here is there's a lot of stuff here, a lot of things to work on. You want to take a really strategic approach to how you build and develop these skills. That's a lot of stuff to think about and work on. I personally would not recommend trying to do all of this at once because you're just going to overwhelm yourself, not get anywhere, and probably drop the ball on other things. Instead, what I would recommend is think about which of these things, go back through the video, rewatch it, check the notes, which one of these is either my weakness, where am I worst, or where would improvement in this thing have the most impact? And you want to focus on that for, say, a week. If you want to be more cool, calm, and collected, spend the next week every time something comes up. Really make sure that you are the chill, relaxed person that brings the energy back down and helps people feel relaxed. Try that for a week. Focus on that. Be very present on it. One of the tools that I use when I'm working on something like this is I'll actually take a Post-it. I've actually got one right here. Take that Post-it and stick it somewhere where you can see it, that's in your line of sight. So it's always in your mind, always something that you're working on. Then after you've done that week, you will have made some progress. Feel good about that. You want to then think about, what's the second most impactful thing on the list that I can work on? Which one of these should I work on next? Then spend a week on that. And then in 8 weeks, you could have made serious progress on your executive presence. Much more, I would bet, than if you tried to focus on all of them at once. Focused growth is, in my opinion, the way to go. So that's the 7 B's of executive presence. Thanks for going through it. I really hope that it helps you get that promotion to the next level. And at the very least, it's going to allow you to have more influence and more impact at work, which in itself will get you to that level anyway. So what I want you to do is leave a comment down below with the B that you're going to focus on next week at work, that you're going to apply as your focus for growth. And if you liked this video, you can check out a shorter video covering 8 other strategies to get promoted from individual contributor to product manager, somewhere either here or here. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.